This is possibly one of those videos where I thought too much before recording it, but now that I've thought about one topic and I wanted to get extensively into it, so let's get into it. I really want to check if this is recording because this. So, today's topic is, where do you put your energy when nothing else is working out in your life? So, I have extensively would say that I have researched on things and people and behaviors and my own experiences. The one thing that I found common is that I would have reached my goals much earlier in life if I knew where I wanted to put my energy. But since you are young and you don't know things in life, and if you are the first person who is breaking generational cycle of working towards a very different goal, working towards making so much money, I have realized that you're the only one that's responsible for every other decision in your life. So it becomes paramount where you put your energy, and it changes the game every time, everywhere. कहाँ डाले एनर्जी अपनी, you know? People say to keep your community together, but my question is, does that community helps you in any way? They don't. First, point by point, the environment that you grow up with. When you are grown up in a very lower upper middle class families, I'm not gonna say even upper middle class, like lower middle class and somewhere around that, you are positively given so many reinforcements regarding community, your own religion, your own beliefs, that, and it is the job of the parents to distill a belief system in one's child and make them see that this is how world should be. But my question is, are you enforcing it because you want the best for them, or are you enforcing it because you are scared that someday they are going to read something which is not in textbooks, and you realize that you have been trying to teach them wrong, and sometime around 25, 26, 27, they're gonna learn that whatever they have learned about a belief system that they should carry, it's going to hell. So it's not going anywhere. It's relentlessly, trying to force them into a box where everybody is running a rat race, and there is no productivity in a sense that it is creating some kind of innovation. It's creative in any way. It's opening a portal of different thinking altogether. I have not met any people in my life, anyone, not I could say that their thinking have changed the way I have looked at myself, except for the older ones. I'm talking about the people that I went to school with, I went to college with, I went working with. They have changed me in different ways, but I realized that all of us in the same age bracket are enforced a belief system which around this age crumbles really badly. So the question is, where are we putting our energy, and how much the role of our parental figures and our society plays in that regard, because that is the main thing that decides your success. And personally, I have met and I've known a few people who wanted to do so many bigger things in life. They wanted to become this, they wanted to become that, and some even did. But did that really, produced something that we could use going into the future? AI has came on, and all our jobs are at stakes. I'm talking about a broader perspective. I'm not saying every other job is replaced right now, but then how do we ensure that there is a relentless amount of creativity and innovation is happening? I have worked in the field of innovation and creativity, and thereon I've seen that people are still fighting for the inventions and the creatives that they have created 10 years ago, and we have been filing their patents 10 years later. So my question still remains, where is this coming from? Starts with community. It starts with the environment you grew up in, They enforced stability. They enforced that this is the structure of life, that you have to be graduate by 21, 22, that you have to get a good job by 25 and possibly settled around the time that you're 27 and have kids by the time you're 30. But this structure is crumbling so bad because we have been going around in a loop where our personal problems are so big that there is no result regarding any of these issues. There is no common sense that anybody is making to the point that where they want to invest their time and their energy. And the basic question is, where do we start? I the life has turned out to me in such a way that I have been pushed into different curricular activities ever since I was a little girl. I have been pushed into national level swimming when I was only 15, 16, and my body has been so accommodated to that flexibility that no matter how much I weighed so much more in my life, and also I weighed very less in my life as well. It has maintained a level of flexibility, and I realized because I swam a lot during the time that you were supposed to study for IITs or MBAs or I don't know CAs, my body was very happy doing national championships for swimming, and that's what it chose for me. But I did not make that choice consciously. It did not came from a point of view that, you know what, she should be going in games. It did not came from it. It came from the fear that I can do it all. I can be a good student and I can be a good athlete, which in retrospect I would have chosen to become a good athlete at that point, and I would have said sayonara to all of my studies. But since you have made some, decisions in your life, and ever since they cannot come back into your life again, there is no way that you can, bring those dream back. And it's a relentless try to even think about how some of your dreams will never come to fruition, but they could change their form and energy. And I love this aspect in a personal journey of a or of any individual that thinks that it's their dreams are gone, but it is so beautiful that they are always transformed into one energy or the other. So yes, the choices we make during the time we are 16, 17, 18, 15 relentlessly decides what our next 10 years going to be. And whatever choices we make as of now, I am 28 right now, they are going to definitely decide the future. So when there are chances in life that you can take a lot of risk, one of those times is right now. And I understand that we can go ahead and forgive ourselves because that we knew better, that there was a lot of pressure on us, society was pushing us into a lot of things, and we did not had a broader mind to make better decisions for us. People who were in different stages in different classes made those decisions, or somebody's had some sort of ancestral money or anything like that, they made those conscious choices to go out of our education system and think about more topics, and their mind opened up. But not all of them are doing anything creative, or they might be just doing a job in states or US or Canada and stuff like that. So it's heavily relied on where you put your energy, and to decide that you have to retrieve your energy back to yourself. You will not realize how much of energy we keep giving to other people, things that don't fucking matter. People who, after a decade, everything changes. Now that I've lived a decade to remember any of it, everything has changed. Not one person I've known from a decade ago is here today. and it's both a blessing and a disguise. But you can always sit here and cry about those things. But my mantra is move forward. Now, the betrayal would be at 28 if you got some sense into yourself. And there is a moment of threshold where your old life is pulling you back into your fears and your familiarity, and it's comfortable, but you see a new life where there is going to be lights and there is going to be uncertainty. You maybe a country, you don't know the language, but you know that it's worth the risk because you have not taken the same risk 10 years ago, and you have seen there is a series of evidence why you would have made that choice anyway. And it's a beautiful thing that life gives you a lot of chances at a lot of stages in your life. I personally feel 30 is just starting. 30 is still like nothing is over. There's still time to do a lot of things, but it is very much a time where you should decide where are you going to put your energy, into yourself or people who do not even pour it back to you, and to reconsider our belief systems. It's definitely a time to question everything that everyone has ever said to you regarding how the world should work, and you have had different experiences altogether. And there is a pattern of these things where somebody, it could be a parental figure, it could be somebody in the family or friends who are jealous of you, and people who in general do not want the wish for you because they are threatened by your potential. In those cases particularly, it's really important to see a series of pattern and recognize where you are not putting your energy and where it's leaking in a very wrong direction, and why your mind is holding on to that direction instead of the newer one that you should be following. So once said that fill your own cup, take care of you first, and then when there is an overflow, let people fall in love with that. Let people fall in love with your overflow in life. Let people see that when you pour into yourself, there is still a lot of which is pending for everyone. It doesn't have to be a competition in energetic sense, but people do it. Every time people who are going to be very, very triggered by you when you have a potential, they are going to want to bring you down. And there will be a time you will see it comes from the most closest people. And then you realize, why haven't you grown in this direction if you really want? Why haven't there has been no opportunity if you really want it? Who stops that? Because consciously, unconsciously, people are true to themselves, even if they're not true to you. Some people even lie to themselves. I mean, it's a Kalyug, nobody can say anything. But in regards to when people cannot lie to themselves, in that, constant, if I'm taking, they unconsciously want the bad for you, and it comes from the closest source. It never comes from outside. And then there is when it happens 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you pull back and think, I feel like this thing is going to make me really happy. But then why everybody in my family or in my friend circle, my colleague circle, or anybody who you consider is your well-wisher doesn't think that. There is never a question. Sometimes people are so loyal. There is never a question in their mind that why does this person think that I cannot do this, or they have these different excuses regarding, oh, it's tough, it's a different country, it's a different language, it's a different culture. But we forget the bottom line. They all are still people. They might have had culturally different backgrounds and hierarchies. They are still made of flesh and bones. And that is something to give anybody in this world a chance to. So, with that, I would want to say it really starts with where you want to put your energy. And it's a very conscious decision in your mind. And sometimes, when you're gone from somebody's life, you will realize they will never reach out because they know that you have gotten to the point where they cannot lie to you anymore. They cannot give you more excuses why you are wrong and they are right. And that's when your soul contract with them ends and you never cross path again. So energetically, your field becomes clearer and clearer when you take good conscious decisions. You see somebody's pattern you see that there is a relentless pattern of anything you want to do, and a certain person is always against it. What is the reason? All of your thoughts cannot be unreasonable, right? Some of them could be reasonable, and your closest colleagues, families, and anybody in your life are supposed to care for you. They are also supposed to listen when you come up with these things. But somehow there is always resistance. That's the person that you should look for. That's the person where you would see that it has always been a pattern, and it's not changing. There might be a time you need to look deeper when something feels so right, but then there is also resistance from here in this area. Think about it.